sore now, but I can walk on it again. So short-term thing, but yeah, it's funny. You think typing on your computer, it's not a big deal. Whatever, it can still work, right? But even just like sitting with your legs like bent, it lets it like get stuck basically.
Oh yeah.
So it was actually causing a lot more problems working than you would think.
Huh.
Just a huge distraction.
Do you use your standing desk much?
No, but what is it? They got like a bar thing against the window with a couple chairs at the coffee shop I go to. So it was kind of getting bad while I was there. So I was like, well, if I sit for a long time, it'll just kind of lock up. So, I stood up and kind of stretched some. And I went over there, tried standing for a while, and that just made it worse. Probably having the weight on it. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Still playing League.
Yeah, I'm gonna do some Flexiqueue with Kevin and Curdy. Oh, what, the Tesla AI Day thing is still going? Started 3 hours ago. What's
What is
Elon
it?
even talking about? Tesla's having like an AI day where they had like a little
An even
robot,
smaller number who will even
like
have
Boston
one.
Dynamics.
Oh,
now,
yeah.
now look at it. Like you can
Weird.
access
Yeah.
any book instantly. You can learn anything for basically for free. It's pretty
Ugh.
incredible.
I've been working
So,
on this cross
I was
default
asked
analysis in a
recently
minute,
what.
Oh yeah.
and it's not going so great.
Oh no.
Part of the problem is that she's over in the UK right now, I guess, and but because of the time that I'm up and stuff, we're basically on like the opposite sides of the clock.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to communicate real time. And when I did talk to her, I think like we weren't very aligned on what was going on. So I sent a diff to her today, but I actually haven't looked at it, but I don't know if it's gonna turn out.
Oh man. I've been sending Joyce some diffs, and Darcy's actually been reviewing them and getting back to me.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
oh yeah. Yeah, Darcy's so good. I had a couple currency updates to make, and I was like, oh no, I don't remember any of that. It's the worst, most complicated code I ever wrote. And then I like made the updates, and it was like just one more negative look behind. I'm like, no idea how this works, but I think we just need this look behind. Like, yep, there it is.
Nice.
Yeah.
Part of the problem is that we're at the point where we're getting confused. So now it's like trying to read these like older patterns in the analysis and trying to figure out how to apply this new piece. And a lot of it's like copy pasted stuff. So I'm like, this pattern doesn't even look this way. And then I realize, oh, like the majority of the pattern here is actually just qualifying the definitions that they want to match in this pattern. The like actual pattern's not that complicated. It's grabbing those definitions to make a pattern out of that's complicated.
Yeah.
And and then they just have it copy pasted around as if like it's this one-off thing, but it's actually used in several different places in a few different ways, and it's also shared with the cross acceleration. So I have to like dig into that and then try to figure out like how this is qualified. And I'm looking at it and remembering like, oh yeah, I changed something specifically here with Richards, so we added some new qualifiers or whatever, but it's not reflected in most of the patterns apparently because none of them are reading this way. It's like so freaking. It took me like several hours to make like not that many changes.
Oh no.
I guess it was kind of a lot of changes, but like, not a lot of code, I guess. Yeah, I don't know if some of it might be on me because I haven't been paying too much attention to the footnotes, but it's not very clear to me like what we were really supposed to be matching half the time.
Yeah.
And oh yeah, and then like some of the documents I just don't have. And she was like pointing to one in the diff, and I tried to run that document and it didn't find it, so it must
Oh,
have got
yeah.
renamed or something.
Yeah, there's some
It was like
renaming.
so I was like, do you have
shenanigans.
like another example? And she, like I guess she didn't really have set examples. She just like is doing the like, the overall this is bad thing, and I'm like, well, let's drill into a specific example.
Yeah.
And yeah. But it was like 8 p.m. for her, and we were on a call for like an hour, and she was like, "It's too late to be working." I'm
Yeah.
like, "Well, sorry."
It is.
But,
Oh, it's Friday too.
oh no, this is on Wednesday.
Oh.
Because for her it's 8 p.m., but for me it was like 2.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, with
So
Minna. Yeah.
I need to be trying to get up a little bit earlier, I think, so I can talk to her earlier.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I think for her, 8 p.m. is probably like way past when she's normally working. So like, I don't think 7's gonna be that much better for her. So we're talking like gotta be up like 6 hours before that or something probably. That puts me at like 6 a.m. I don't know if I can do that. It's so early. Ugh. But yeah, it's just really frustrating though, because we haven't really had a good state since we started working on it. So we've made like a ton of changes, and sometimes she's talking like maybe we need to go back to like what we had on the such and such date a month ago. I'm like, dude, I don't know how to unwind this to that point, man. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that. It's funny though, because she was saying that something
Yeah, I mean,
along the lines of like she wasn't like totally full up on work, so she was looking for something else to do or something. And Darcy's like, "Well, give you cross default. Are you sure though?" She's like, "Yeah, sure, I'll take a stab at it." And Darcy's like, "It's really hard." She's like, how hard could it be?" How it's like a huge pain in the ass. But the last time when Richard gave me some update on it, we got to a point where like he didn't really respond to my stuff for like 2 days, and I was like, which is a little bit unusual, and I was like, hey, you got the, do you know what you want to do with this thing or whatever? And cross default. And he's like, well, actually, we've been arguing for the past 2 days whether this clause is even supposed to be a cross default clause. Or I think it was cross acceleration actually. But apparently they're like really can be really tricky as to like what category it actually falls into. So it's not just a matter of getting the patterns right. It's like kind of a tough one for the lawyers anyways, I guess. Or can
Yeah.
be anyway, depending on the document. But, yeah, she was she was worried that this one exclusion might be killing it because we're getting a lot of bad losses, I guess. And I was looking, I'm like, well, I have that written up, but we're not actually using it anywhere. So like, I don't think that's excluding anything. And she's trying to figure out how to like change it. And I'm like, I think that's the wrong track. It's not even being applied. Like we're losing it some other way. I don't know. But this makes you realize how hard it is without a concrete example. Like this is specifically supposed to match in this way. Why isn't it matching? And you can drill into
Yeah.
that. The moment I don't really have that, so But anyway, I gotta drop a few MRs on Thursday anyways, because I turned all the keys into the dictionary for the PIODs, turned them into enums.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I guess I was distracted because my leg was hurting and all that. And then I was at my mom's, and she can't help but like talk to me when I'm there, even if I'm doing work or whatever. So
Yeah.
it's super distracting. It took me all day, but it wasn't exactly easy either because, like for instance, for Arisa, like that's just one word, all caps. It's an acronym,
Yeah.
and that's like used in patterns and stuff. So you absolutely can't just do a find and replace for Arisa.
Yeah.
So. And I think there's a couple things in like some covenants and stuff too. And so I'm like, well, I don't want to use that enum in the covenants because that's not like the default, So
Yeah.
a lot of little nitpicking.
I'm
So
kind of excited to be coming back, but some of the stuff they want to do is kind of just BS work. Like, I don't know. Nick wants to clean up some of the APIs, move some extra keys, which is like well and good, but I'm like, I don't know, what's the customer asking for this? I don't know, like, does it make a speed difference? Or is it just kind of like a nice thing? Because now we're going to have a V2 API, we'll have to deprecate the old one. And then Brian wants to use gRPC, which is like a cool technology, but like, I don't know, does it really fix the issue of like our data structures are just kind of over-engineered? I don't think it's a problem of the JSON. I think it's just a problem of our data structures being shit. I don't know.
Well, it seems to me that the front end has a lot of like different attempts at making things either work or better or something like that. So I think the front end has a lot of inconsistency. And I think also part of the problem is that, since we're always so like tight on manpower, and Brian's like one of the people that does a lot of shit, I think he's just made a lot of things work in the front end that really should be back end stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's what you're talking about exactly, but it sounds like part of the problem is that the front end shouldn't even be doing certain things anyways, so there's like some limitations because of that.
For sure.
But the thing you just said though, I don't remember what it's called, but is that the newish type of thing that orchestrates the JSONs between the front end and the back?
Yeah, I mean, it's just basically classes for your JSONs, which you can do anyway, but this is just like a standardized way to do it that Google came up with, which is like kind of cool.
Oh.
I don't know. Like, yeah, it's kind of nice, I guess. Pretty neat. Apparently it was a real hot thing about 3-4 years ago, but now everyone's kind of like, nah. I was watching a YouTuber and he's like, oh yeah, no one actually uses that anymore. I'm like, oh damn, 3-year-old technology is already obsolete. This is why I hate web technology, honestly. It's so stupid. GraphQL was like the sexiest thing ever, and now it's like totally just pointless. GraphQL, bro, GraphQL.
It actually reminds me that I haven't done the API stuff for SLLs, and I was definitely supposed to at some point, but it sounded like whatever analysis updates you're doing are more important right now, so if you get some time, just go ahead and do it. And I've never got the time. So I haven't had I haven't heard anything about it since, and I'm not sure if what the priorities are now. So I thought we were doing some public cloud stuff or whatever, but I don't know if that was supposed to be in the future or if I don't know what's the state of that. You hear people talk about stuff, and I'm never, because I'm not plugged into a lot of these things, I'm never quite sure, is that we're doing that right now, or that's something that we're going to be doing in the future? I'm not really sure.
Maybe you'd really appreciate sprint-driven development and Kanbans and all that stuff, where you just have tickets flying everywhere and then you gotta comb the backlog. I don't know. I think there's some merit to that where you at least keep track of like what needs to be done, but like all the process around managing that stuff is so annoying. It's kind of like, I don't know, what you need done so fluid day to day. It's kind of nice to just handle it day to day.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. There's some value in at least having it all tracked or whatever. But I don't know. Given my experience so far, it's been kind of nice that even though some of these things like end up on the back burner, you know, because you don't have the resources of like somebody managing it, you might as well just go hard on whatever they need you to do today.
Exactly.
I never merged in the I have that data structure. I don't know if you even quite call it that. I guess it kind of is. For the like labeling of everything, we have like codes for everything or whatever. I never merged that in. But I have like a mostly complete solution, but like again, Jordan's like so busy with all the other things he's doing. He didn't really have the time to like, you know, coordinate with me to the extent of like I know for sure like this is what you need and it's working the way that you want it to.
Yeah.
And I think he said he was gonna like I sent him some stuff and he was gonna mess with it and see if he could like use it or whatever and figure it out. But I think he just never got the time to do that either. So yeah, it just stalled. But then, you know, there's a little teaser of like maybe we'll update Python 3.10, and then I'm like, well, all of this stuff I did, I'm totally happy to throw away because I just want to use data classes instead. I guess I wouldn't be throwing away all of it, but yeah. Yeah. So I definitely saw in CDMs that some of these events of default are getting run potentially for a second time. I'm not totally sure. And
Yeah.
so it's, no, that seems unoptimized, obviously. But then I found like one analysis that Sean had worked on using his like analysis class and stuff, and it was looking at results from one of the events of default, but I think it was running it again to produce those results.
Oh man.
And I was like, but I'm not totally sure. And I was trying to figure out my way around that code. And all I'm trying to do is like update the name. So I was just mostly trying to figure out, do I need to use this enum here? You know? And I was looking up like, I think you should run it again. I'm not really sure what the point is, but okay. Oh, like one of the things we do is certain events of default have like a lower precedence than others for like matching clauses. You know, if it's one of the more main ones, or I don't really know what the logic is exactly, but you know, if it's one of the ones that takes precedence, then the lower precedent one, even though it might match some of that text, we don't want it to claim it as this type of default because it's actually the more prevalent one or whatever.
Yeah.
And the way we do that is just to look at all the results, pull out the sections and compare them and say like, okay, you know, this section's already been matched, so like throw these results away. And I realized going through this, I'm like, wait a minute, we have that included sections that plugs in defined sections that matter. I bet you that would be a huge optimization, that we shouldn't even be searching those sections in the first place, that if we've already been matched, you know. So I'm like, dude, we could avoid so much searching if I did that, you know, on the front end of it rather than after the fact. I didn't have time to like try that out, but especially with this cross default thing being so complicated. But if we get to a point where like that's caught up and now we're at like another clean slate of like the status of events of default is in a good state, then it would be nice to try to throw those into the excluded sections and do a diff and see if anything's bad.
Rampage.
There's a few of them too. I don't remember which ones, but one of them like looks at 4 other events of default results and excludes those sections. So it's like that's probably a lot of sections it doesn't even say.
Right.
And I think, yeah, I could totally just abstract that into a function as well and cache it. But I guess just not just slow down there. It's just like enumerating all the sections. I think the function that does that is not optimized.
Warwick is so fast. Go! Go, go, go! Oh my gosh, no way! Oh.
Your team has destroyed.
Did you see that Burkina Faso had a coup? I know that country because I did the currency for it. I'm like, that's a funny name for a country. It's probably somewhere in Africa. I think it's somewhere in Africa. I'm a white guy from the Midwest. Oh shit!
Yeah, the coup, huh? That's
Yeah.
crazy.
It, ooh.
History had that same type of feeling where we're seeing, you know, Russia invade Ukraine and they're kind of threatening like we could use nukes, you know, and you know it's affecting like the pipelines are getting sabotaged now to Europe. Europe might not have another like, you know, they're having like an energy crisis now. It feels like the world's unraveling a little bit. I wonder if that's the way people felt, you know, with a lot of other historical conflicts and stuff.
Yeah.
Because, you know, people are talking about how like, this has been one of the most peaceful times in history. And it feels like, you know, it could turn.
Right.
And, I don't know. I suppose that's probably definitely what people felt like during the world wars, I suppose. But, you know, there's a lot of conflicts in the past. Like, I don't know. Like, countries that were actually at parity were going to war. Doesn't feel the same when we're just invading Afghanistan. Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh. It's just kind of crazy to me that NATO is like, oh yeah, we won't retaliate with nukes. It's like, don't you at least have to say you would?
Well, I don't know. It's kind of honest if they're just saying they won't. I mean, why would we want to retaliate with nukes, you know?
I'd want to.
Like, obvious.
The guy on Twitter saying that was so funny. He's like, I bet Russia's ICBMs are in disrepair. Like, I'll roll those dice. Like, let's find out what's behind the door.
Oh my god.
Will they fly?
Your team has destroyed.
But I mean, like, even if like, say they weren't, like, in service or whatever, and we could just nuke them with no consequence. Well, there wouldn't be no consequence. Like, we'd still be using a bunch of nukes that would be polluting, like, the global atmosphere and stuff, right? Like,
Yeah.
nobody.
I mean, be solving global warming though.
What, it would cool the Earth?
Yeah.
Why would it cool the Earth?
Because it'll cause like a nuclear winter.
Well, they say that, but like, doesn't it just mean like crops could be affected because of the fallout or something? Like,
Yeah, it like blots out the sun. Blots
does
out
it
the
really?
humans too. So there's no more human-induced climate change. So there's no humans.
The climate just keeps warming anyway. When the Russian, or well, I guess it was the Soviet Union at the time, they tested the Tsar Bomba or whatever, which is like the biggest nuke that's ever been uh, detonated,
Yeah.
and they bombed this island in the northern, whatever you call that, not the North Pole, but like up there, and I'm pretty sure it like destroyed the whole island basically. And I think it was a pretty big island too. It's not like a little island. Gigantic bomb. And but I was thinking like I bet you they have no idea whether there's any like animal life that we didn't know about on that island or anything. There's probably like some, you know, species that was their niche, that island, and we just bombed them. And like who knows how many subspecies just went extinct from a nuclear bomb. The Russians want to test it.
Right. Yeah, I was thinking about that, like all the birds that go deaf and everything. Like, I don't know. That's pretty brutal.
Yeah, did you see Kamala Harris? I think she was in South Korea. She was giving some speech, and she was talking about how important our alliance was with North Korea.
Yeah, no. There's two senile people in the White House.
It's like, obviously, like people on the right are gonna get on her about that, and it's obviously just a gaffe. But it is funny that like I don't know, Biden makes gaffes that are like, I don't know, it's just Biden. He's just saying some shit. Like, it's kind of cringy sometimes, but like it's not the worst. Should he be president? I don't know. But with Kamala Harris, though, she says some seriously stupid shit sometimes, and it's like, oh my gosh,
Right.
straight up diversity hire.
I know.
Yeah, I gotta do my health checkup thing. I get like a free one, through my insurance, and I just haven't done it. It's almost the end of the year,
Oh, do
but I
you have
want to do
a
that.
FSA where it runs out if you don't use it?
Well, I already capped that out. Oh shit! Actually, I think they like billed me wrong or something at the dentist because I got a letter in the mail for like $140 or something I owe them apparently, and I think it's probably because they charged the wrong amount to my FSA. But I totally already used that this year for all those cavities I got filled.
Uh-huh.
But I get a well, I don't even know if it's free, but it's like at least discounted if it's not free. I think it's free though. Just like a standard primary care visit where they, weigh you and do a physical or something like that. But I really want to get that done because when I was in the hospital with COVID, they did tell me that I had like, my markers or whatever were such that I had the beginning stages of fatty liver disease or something.
Oh no.
And I mean, it sounds bad, but I think it's just really common, especially in America, 'cause we eat the wrong things.
Right.
Um, and I looked it up some. It doesn't sound like, unless you have like progressively worse stages of it or whatever. Like the worst stage is basically get cirrhosis of the liver, and you can get that from drinking, of course, but you can also get it if you have like too much fat in your liver and it's accumulating, etc. Can cause scarring, which is what the cirrhosis is. And I definitely wasn't like that bad, but it's just it's possible to get cirrhosis without drinking at all if you have a bad diet and all that. So, anyways, I want to get that checked out because I lost a bunch of weight and stuff, so I'm hoping that that's reversed it.
Yeah.
Also, I've been tracking all my macros and shit, and I've been keeping my calories in check, but I have noticed that I've been eating like less carbs and more fat, which isn't automatically bad, I guess. But given that I had that, I hesitate to call it a diagnosis, but like the test result, anyways. I don't really know if that means that you should watch that or not, or just losing weight's enough. I'm not really sure.
Isn't it crazy how many people are like pre-diabetic and stuff too in the US? Or have
Yeah,
just random issues. I don't know, it's like the more you go to the doctor, the more you find out you just have random issues. And then they're like, so what do we do? And like, well, nothing really. It's like, am I gonna die sooner? It's like, well, probably not. It's hard to tell. Like, okay. All right, thanks.
statistically speaking, yes, but a lot of people have this problem.
All right. Hard to say. See, how are you feeling? Like, well, I feel alive. And it's like, well, hopefully it stays like that. Okay.
And I think my landlord said that she somewhat recent, like within the last year or something, tested on the other side of the diabetes. So she's like in the, I don't know what category or anything. It's not like I, looked at her medical records, but she's got to like check her blood sugar now and all that kind of stuff.
Uh,
But I don't think she has to take insulin. It's just like a, watch it kind of thing.
yeah.
But my mom definitely has a terrible diet and is really overweight. And my landlord is like, maybe technically probably overweight, but not like, in a severe sense at all. But mom definitely is. And I know that my mom's been going to the doctor in general, to get some stuff checked and all that. And I don't think she has like diabetes or anything. So it's weird how, you can have people, and one probably has much worse diet than the other, and yet doesn't have the diabetes,
Yeah, right. My pancreas is hardened by battle. I take as much sugar as I throw at it.
It's like it reminds me in a weird way of this guy Lemmy, who's the front man for what's that band called? Uh, their biggest hit was like Ace of Spades. It's this metal band, Motorhead. And I read some like stuff about him because he's like this metalhead figure that's like, I don't know, this guy in the metal scene. And he's dead now, but only a few years ago I think he died. But anyways, there was a quote by him that like he does a bunch of drugs and stuff, but only the right amount of methamphetamine or something like
Nice.
that. It's like, what the hell is the right amount of
Yeah.
this stuff gets you the day? And yeah, he died in his 60s or something. But I guess like, given that that's what he was doing his whole life, I guess he lived pretty long. You know?
Yeah.
Drinking Jack Daniels, and taking meth pills. My brother's friend has some cousin who I don't know if he had been doing meth before for a long time or something, but he definitely started doing it all the time more recently, within like over the last year or something like that. And I guess he like really just became a recluse and he just do meth in his room all day. And oh yeah, and actually he got apparently diagnosed with diabetes. And I guess they found it out because like food wasn't tasting good anymore or something like that. And then of course he's doing a bunch of meth, so I guess the meth wasn't really. He was developing a tolerance, and so he I don't know. He freaked out one day and got his buddy's shotgun and like I guess he shot at his wife and daughter and missed them, and the police were there and everything,
Oh,
and then he just blew his brains out.
jeez.
Yeah. And I guess he did it like in front of his son too. I don't know if that was like
Crazy.
intentional or anything, but his son saw it. And it's like, that's pretty fucked, dude.
Yeah. Oh, is it gonna hit him? Oh, so close.
It's weird though, because I don't really know his friend that well, but I've met him a few times. And it was like his cousin or whatever that did this. But I guess his friend is like, I don't know, man. I think he just, just got depressed or something. I don't know exactly what he was saying, but he was kind of like, I don't think it's because he was just doing that. And the thing is like, for some people, it's so normal that that's what family members are doing and stuff. That it's not even like, well, of course that would happen to a meth head,
Yeah.
Like, it's a lot more normal for a lot of people.
An enemy has been slain.
But yeah, I think that's one of those, when you get out of high school type of things. And some people take, turn to the right, other people take turn to the left. That homeless guy that I knew from high school that I was talking to for a little bit because he was coming into the coffee shop I was at. He was telling me about his friend who I wasn't really friends with, but I knew who he was from school. And he's like, yeah, he doesn't really like respond much anymore. He doesn't want to hang out anymore. It's kind of lame or whatever. And I'm like, dude, you're doing meth and you're homeless, man. Like, of course he doesn't want to hang out with you.
Yeah.
Like,
When did everyone stop being so cool? Like, it's you,
yeah,
man.
it's when you started being homeless doing meth, dude. Like, that's the problem.
No. Yeah. It'll be winter though.
Yeah, that's the only time you can see it. But you go in summer, it's 0 chance.
Yeah.
October, November, it shows this. Not too cold yet. It's dark enough to see. We go in the time when everyone goes. It's and stays like 2 days. Do you want to do this?
Yeah, I want to go hiking. Yeah. We can go to the Bahamas. Chill on the beach. Okay. We can do like hikes or whatever. Like St. Lucius, I think, has hikes, or there's good hikes in Hawaii too.
Has been slain. An ally has been slain.
I remember October.
Yeah.
So have you inspired Nikki to switch up her employment?
No. To where?
I don't know.
Like a tech PM maybe, or a UX designer. Oh yeah. Well, let's do hikes then in like Hawaii. Let's get hikes.
Slain.
I want the Jin. He's the only one with the shutdown money. I want him. I want him.
And this leg injury was making me think about that, hiking and stuff. Like, it would really suck. You just pull a muscle like a week before your vacation or something. You know?
Right. So close. Yeah. Oh, they took all my jungle.
So I watched the Blade trilogy recently.
Oh yeah. The old ones?
Yeah.
How was it?
Is there new ones?
I thought they remade them recently, yeah.
Really? Hmm.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're the old ones. I think they're, I'd say, either 90s or maybe early 2000s. It's funny, like, some of it was kind of like,
Like the weather will be
This-
high 60s.
especially by the,
That's just perfect.
especially by the,
Right?
they got the, you know, badass guy slow motion walking.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
glowing. That's
So-
perfect. It's between 16 to 27 degrees Celsius. Yeah, during the day it's still warm. 27 degrees. That's good.
Whoop.
Is it? And if it rains, you just move from one side to the other to the other, and all the way.
Yeah.
What? They say if you want to hike, then this is the best time because it's not hot as much.
Hmm.
You can visit Hawaii with your friends. It's also the end of Hawaii's hurricane season. We should just go to Big Island because it's our first time.
There's a thing in my healthcare, one of my healthcare apps. It's like, some members with similar health histories need these procedures. We're showing these to you because we think you may be interested. Blah, blah. And an esophagoscopy, assume they're looking at your esophagus or something. But the funny part is estimated bill $203 to $19,709 or $729. So like between $200 and $20,000. It's like,
Wow.
what? That's a gigantic difference. That's a difference of like, yeah, let's just find out to like, I can't afford that shit. You fucking kid. One of them is a vasectomy? Like, what the hell, man? I'm not getting my shit snipped.
Yeah.
I don't know
Those
if
people
it's-
are very
people
something
do.
you can but definitely a free. They have a Big Island has a Kona Kobe Cultural Festival.
a total hysterectomy. You know, men can get hysterectomies these days, you know?
You might also like right testicle removal.
Like, that's what I'm
People who
thinking.
had left testicle removal also can.
Total hysterectomy? Did I just get like a partial hysterectomy?
Yeah. It's just just fuck me up, Doc.
You just take out like half, and then I'll save up some money and I'll take out the other half.
Just get the rest of it later. I'll come back when I can afford it.
Your turret has been destroyed.
Woohoo! Oh, I'm dead.
Yes, so these are like total similar to my health history or something. I'm not exactly sure why an esophagus thing would be, but yeah, no, these are totally random.
People who sold their kidney also enjoyed donating their plasma. What was that movie, the robot opera or whatever? The metal opera, where it's about like people. Oh yeah, Repo Man, I think it was called. They're like harvesting organs or whatever from people who have debt in the future. That's kind of a cool movie.
It sounds familiar, but I can't remember.
It's like from the 80s. I want to use my Herald Middle, so we're gonna get some kills here, whether you guys like it or not. We're gonna get some freaking kills up from this. I got him. Cues of Legends. 6,010. Oh, boom! So good. For two. Oh, I've got ult soon. If I can't get close enough.
Oh shit.
Woo! Oh, I'm gonna burn. That's the demonic for you. That's the one I'm trying to build. Burns you forever and ever.
Interesting. On one of these bills, when I was actually in the hospital, it says room and board semi-private, 2 beds. And the room I was in only had 1 bed though. But I've heard though that just because they have the room for the beds doesn't mean that they have the beds in service or whatever, or potentially they don't have enough staff to have that many beds or whatever. So just because they have the like physical capacity doesn't mean that they have the actual capacity. So I wonder if that's what was going on. So technically in a room with 2 beds, there's only 1. Okay. For whatever reason. Right.
Oh, this Nami's so good! Almost got him. Oh, the soul key! Close.
Probably have to still contact the insurance company or something if there's some change in a week. So I got that notice on the one app that at least one of the bills was like the remaining amount was reduced to 0 because of the review or whatever. But then on the other app it's not showing me updates. So. But I guess, I don't know, maybe that's normal, but I'm like, dude, 10 freaking months later, you finally figured that shit out?
Oh yeah, I know.
Wow.
I've gotten medical bills like, feels like a year or more after the thing. Like, so what was this about? Were you just like too lazy to file it? Too confusing? A nightmare.
Yeah. Right, as long as I didn't pay, which is the case, you know. I don't care that much, but I guess I did have one bill, but I was mostly just pissed because like I just went in for a checkup because I had like some lethargy basically, and I don't know what I expected out of it, but just for them to, I think I wanted to test to make sure I didn't have like diabetes or some shit because I was just having no energy, you know. And they're just like trying to give me like depression pills or something. And I'm like, no thanks. And they're like, okay, yeah, we'll just do the tests you want. Then you want like all the blood work. And at the time I didn't have insurance, so I was like, well, how much is it gonna cost? Like I specifically want a test for like something that would be cause lethargy or something. But take them all if they're cheap, but like what it's gonna cost, and they're just like, well, I don't really know.
Yeah, they don't know until they've done it, basically.
Yeah, and they're like, well, having more tests and less tests will obviously cost more, and I think some of them might be expensive, but the one might not. I'm like, okay, well, let's just do whatever the one is. And they're like, oh, we'll just do one. Okay. And then yeah, when I got the bill, the blood work was like $50. And I'm like, that's totally reasonable. I would have taken more tests at $50 just to find out. You know,
Yeah.
the
It's
pop,
like I
right?
go to
Like,
my
let's
dentist and they're like, no, this
do
is an extra $12. I guess I should feel bad because for some people that's actually like, oh, I can't do that today. It's gonna take the kids out for dinner or something. That's so sad.
But the thing is, if they could have told me, it would have been like, you know, at the time, it's not like it was super affordable for me to spend hundreds of dollars. But I was like, dude, I'll spend $200 to do some tests. You know,
Yeah, right.
it's up
For your
front.
health.
Just make sure that nothing is wrong.
Dr. Steve's rules for your health.
But then just the visit alone, just to talk about potentially doing tests, that was $450.
Did
It's
they
like-
bill you for like consultation too for like $200?
I think that's what it was. It was $450, and the actual test was $50.
Oh man.
So it was like $500 total, right? And I'm like, I could have fucking skipped the doctor visit and just taken the fucking test for $50, dude.
Yeah.
And when they wanted to give me those pills, they're like, well, they're pretty cheap. They're generic, so they're like $2 a, you know, a refill or something. It's super cheap. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not interested. But afterwards, I was like, well, yeah, $2. Then you got to do a checkup. The checkup's gonna be $500. You're like, at that point, it's not the pills I'm worried about. It's your fucking, you know, showing up for half an hour and getting billed $500 or whatever.
Right.
And the thing is too, it's like, you know, the doctor's time and all that, so it's so like $100, maybe 200, $500. You know, like where is this $500 going?
Right. What are you doing to the blood? They take like a liter of blood for each $100. Like I swear every
No,
time
that's-
they take blood, it's like, oh, that's not the last one. Okay, you're getting more. Like, do I have any left to go home? I gotta drive home after this.
Why had it come in a different day to do the blood test? I'm pretty sure that part, including the test and everything, was only $50. So it's really not, you know, maybe they just break down the bill that way, but it seemed to me that the $450 was all that first initial visit is the way that they billed it. You know,
Yeah,
maybe that's the reality of the situation, but like still.
that's crazy.
And now, you know, with insurance, it'd probably be $50 or something copay, right? But yeah, I don't know. Healthcare is definitely messed up. But and then I think that's how they get you back. Like, I'm sure the individual people are like trying to screw you. But just, you know, overall, like, okay, so you decide, oh, yeah, I'll try those pills out. Well, then what if you have those, you know, side effects? And then you're like, oh, you know, my mouth's always dry. And they gotta do probably a different pill for that, right?
Yeah.
It's all of a sudden.
It's never ending.
It's like, or you could just, you know, like, exercise, maybe take some vitamin D.
Yeah, that probably fix most things for most people.
Put down the ho-hos, bro.
Sure. Yeah.
Look, Victoria calls you guys.
Sure. Okay, I'm up for whatever.
You guys just going on vacation, or is this like your belated honeymoon or something like that?
Nah, just random vacation.
When are you going to Australia?
Well, we're doing our wedding in Malaysia, and
No, in
that's
Australia. Malaysia one is indefinitely.
okay. Yeah. When is that? December?
No, that's in.
February.
Oh,
Yeah.
February.
We should send invite.
Nikki have family in Malaysia, or is it just like a cool place to go?
She's got some family there, but she's not super close to them. Her close family's in Australia, or her immediate family.
Yeah.
Wait, were these AirPods before? I thought they were always AirPods Max. Did they change the name? No, these have been out for a few years. They might have changed the name though, right? Yeah, here's a review from a year ago, a guy who had them for 6 months. They came out, I think they came out 2 years ago. Not bad, but for the money you can get like better headphones. You hardly ever see them actually. Like they were supposed to sell really well because they're Apple and they're stylish. And like I see them at the dog park occasionally, maybe like once a week, but I don't know. Even on the train where it's super loud, you don't see people wearing these usually.
I don't know, Ben Shapiro's beard.
Yeah. We're traveling to Florida.
What?
He's been rowing in Florida. I don't know. Everyone keeps making Ben Shapiro in Florida memes. I don't know what it's about.
Oh, I think he did move to Florida. Yeah.
Oh. Everyone's moving to Florida.
He grew up in California and he'd been there for a long time. But they moved the Daily Wire to Nashville, Tennessee, I think. It might not literally be Nashville, but that area, I think. But then he moved to Florida. And I don't know about the Nashville area, but I guess there's like a Jewish community in Florida, and that was a big thing for him because then there's like, kosher stores and all that kind of crap.
What is it?
A whole bunch of people are going on vacation.
Oh yeah, at work too. There's people going on vacation.
Yeah, like 3 people on Friday. They're vacationing until Monday, I guess. One of them till Friday next week, and then another person's on vacation Thursday next week for a couple months.
Oh wow.
It's funny, I haven't taken any vacation, but I suppose it's a little bit fair because I did take like a month off when I had COVID, so
Yeah.
I mean, you shouldn't think of it that way, but given that I just haven't taken a vacation, it's kind of worked out that way. So, like, well, it's about even then. Don't we technically have unlimited vacation?
Yeah, technically. I know Jordan will take a week or two a year. I don't know who else does.
I don't really know how you take advantage of that. I guess you just do it, but it feels like a weird thing, especially since I haven't taken any vacation, so it seems like more of a precedent kind of thing. Like, if you're the type of person that's going on a lot of vacations, and you have been, then that's just what you do.
Right.
But there's plenty of things for me to be doing, so I just dip out for a week. It'd be totally fine. But if I did it for like 2 months out of the year, a week here, a week there, I don't know if that'd be super cool.
Yeah.
But could just
Richard
do
takes a lot of vacation, but he kind of just works on his vacations. He'll just be at like Airbnbs in the Hamptons and stuff.
That's probably the way to do it.
Kind of cool. Yeah, it's like co-working with a group of strangers, and you make some friends, get drunk at night, and do some work during the days.
And then also just do that, but then you can just be like, well, this Thursday, I'm taking the day off, doing stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely better.
Yeah, I remember that. Every time I get on a call with him, he'd be somewhere else, and he's like, "Oh, I'm running out of battery here on the beach in California, so I won't be able to plug in. So we'll have to like reconnect tomorrow, I guess." It's like, okay, cool, dude. Yeah, he was telling me he was sick the other week, and he was like, "Oh, it's so terrible because they have a kid now." And he's like, "Yeah, my wife, had to leave, and I don't even know if we're married or not. But anyways, it doesn't matter. And she had to leave and do her work or whatever she was doing, and he's sick. And I think the kid was sick too, the baby. He's like, that was a hell of a week." I'm like, oh my gosh, dude.
Oh yeah, and David doesn't take that much vacation, but he lives in the mountains and just go on day hikes, and I guess he'll take like a Friday occasionally. About it.
Yeah, he's posted some pictures here and there of him just doing something, and I don't know if he was on an official vacation or not. I think he was at least one of those times. I take advantage of like being able to work whenever I want and working remote. I don't necessarily go anywhere, but I work at a coffee shop, so that's super nice. But
Yeah,
might be missing out on the advantage of the loose scheduling that I could just go on some vacations.
yeah.
I think all the COVID stuff is gone over. Well, I guess that was New York, but I assume that Jersey's similar.
Yeah, it's totally done.
Should probably check out your place sometime.
Yeah, come on out. Be fun.
I just realized, especially if I do this side work for my cousin, then it'll really fill me up time wise.
Yeah. Two jobs is brutal though, because then you always feel like obligated to work more. It's like, well, I could be billing hourly. Why wouldn't I just do a couple hours tonight?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Given the things that have been going on and stuff, it's kind of nice that I'm not doing that at the moment and being able to chill out a little bit, especially after some of these pushes at Namu. The last one wasn't like too much for me, but I got so much done that it definitely, like the weekend after that 2-week period, I I had to just like do nothing just to empty my brain out. So it's weird because like the things I worked on, you know, there's a lot of different analysis. There's like 15 of them, I think, that I updated, and it feels like kind of a lot. But at the same time, I've worked on pretty much all of them before, and I didn't feel overwhelmed with it.
Yeah.
Especially the first week, I got like 10 of them done the first week, like no problem, just whipped through them. But then by the second week, I started losing track of everything because it's just a lot to think about, you know. Like, man, I don't know. It didn't seem like it would be that bad, but then it ended up being a little bit of a hassle to, especially once you like merge a bunch of the stuff in, and then it's like, okay, what have I merged? What haven't I merged? Why is this still hanging out here? It's not done yet. There's a problem. I don't remember. So yeah, by the end of that 2 weeks, like, totally could handle it, but I kind of need to chill. This week's been pretty chill. Mostly just because, like I said, the cross default's just been such a pain in the ass that I haven't really been able to do too much with it. So it's like, yeah, I'm working, but I'm not getting a ton done. And it's only one analysis, so it's not like a huge you know, cognitive load.
Yeah.
They're trying to push for Monday now. They do a like interim release on Monday or something. And again, it's one of those situations where I'm like, I don't really know how it's going to speed me up at all because I don't think we're there yet anyway. So, and what I'm working on, maybe a few of the. That's the thing. Everybody's like on vacation, so like, I don't know. Maybe a couple of the people who aren't on vacation have like some outstanding things they're trying to cram in. But whatever. That's the upside of not having tickets. So then you can get random ass shit done that's not necessarily that hard. And still ticking off items, but it's not like I have a backlog right now anyway, so it's just all bonus points. Pretty sure Minna's not going to get back to me this weekend on the press default. Because I think she feels a little bit out of her depth, like, oh, why is all this stuff going wrong? You know? So, yeah, maybe I'll just try doing that excluded sections optimization thing.
That would be cool.
That'd be some real bonus points. I finally got my old computer shipped back to Choice, and I was like really dragging my feet on it because I'm like a one-track mind, and I just, you know, I was doing my work and kept forgetting, like, ah, shit, I really should have got to the post office. So anyways, on I think it was Tuesday, got to the post office and shipped it, but he told me, actually send it to this address, and if that one doesn't work, this other one, it looks like it's probably just on the corner, so like the cross street might be what's in their system. And of course, neither of those addresses were in their system. So I was calling her, like, hey, you know, can I still use that other one? And she's like, where are you? Are you at FedEx? No, I'm at USPS. She's like, I'm on their website, and I plug in this address, and it pops up. And I show the guy, and he's like, I already put that in, man. It doesn't show up in the system. And she's like, I don't understand. Like, neither do I, but he's telling me he doesn't want to ship it because it'll probably just come back. And then, because, you know, it's an expensive item, she wanted insurance on it. And given the amount of insurance that she wanted, they require a mandatory signature. And she's like, what? I have them not sign things all the time. I'm like, You're telling me with this much insurance you have to sign. She's like, oh my gosh. I wonder how the reimbursement works, if they put that in my check or something.
Yeah, I think they just put it in your check.
It was like $50 or something to ship it. But given that you know, we got a bunch of insurance on it and stuff, not too bad actually. I don't think I got any like special fast shipping. And it's still gonna ship in like within the week.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm so lazy. I went to FedEx first because they were open later. But they're like, well, we got boxes over there, and you gotta put in an address and write all this stuff down. And I was like, oh, come back tomorrow. I'm like, I'm too lazy to do that. I want somebody to do it for me.
Enemy rampage.
So when I was at my mom's, went to Dairy Queen because it was like fast and easy, you know. And since I track all my stuff, I put, you know, the meal I had at Dairy Queen in there, and I looked at the micronutrient breakdown. It was like 0 for everything. It was like, yeah, I got some protein in the burger, but no micronutrients except for saturated fat and sodium. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my god, this stuff is so bad.
Got them probiotics.
I got a small cookie dough blizzard. There's like over 700 calories in a small one.
Jeez.
Like, holy shit.
No
I wonder why
wonder.
this stuff's bad for you.
Yeah. And
The real killer with that too is like if you keep your macros in check, basically just don't eat too much, you know? It displaces your like caloric allowance that you might eat some like, you know, vegetables or something. Instead you're just downing a blizzard.
great.
funny to me though. I must not be one of these people that struggle with the, eating super poorly, even though I have in the past. To me, it's like, well, sure, I like cookie dough blizzard, but like I didn't really want a whole small one, and if it literally provides no nutrients, like I'm cool with just not eating that. I don't have this compulsion to eat ice cream.
Yeah.
An ally has been slain.
Must be like a habit thing, because I stopped eating a lot of candy and stuff when I was still in high school, and I think it's because my mom is always, that's her guilty pleasure type of thing is sweet stuff. And she was always on all these diets as when I was a kid and stuff. So I'm super conscious of like, the vaguely like what's healthy to eat and what's not. And I like, well, if I have a choice, I'll just eat healthier stuff.
Yeah,
But
same.
I guess if you make a habit out of for whatever reason, like it's your like a soothing thing or something, comfort food type of thing. If you do that your whole life, I guess maybe that's a lot harder to deal with.
Oh no. The stuns. Eating healthy is like, I don't mind healthy food at all. It's just a pain in the butt to cook. And then it's super
Yeah.
expensive if you eat it out.
Yeah. Even cooking it can be expensive depending on what you're buying. Like for
Right.
instance, it might also be the store I go to. I think it's a little bit more expensive. But yeah, I'm in the Lake Minnetonka area, so I'm too cheap to drive far to go to one of the bigger stores. But anyway, like just like a cup of blueberries is basically what it is. It's like $6.
Yeah, and it doesn't
And
fill you up because it's got no calories.
right. I mean, it probably does have some because it's berries, fruit, but not like that much. And yeah, I mean, I like to eat with cottage cheese, and I could easily dump the whole thing in a bowl of cottage cheese. I was buying like raspberries and stuff too, but I think now that they're out of season, the ones on the shelf don't last very long before they get moldy. In fact, actually, I've seen a lot
Right.
of them are just moldy on the shelf. I'm like, oh, that's gross.
I know. You gotta go to
So
the good grocery stores. Only a few grocery stores will actually rotate them out when they're moldy.
yeah, but I even noticed at the other grocery store that there was some moldy stuff. I think it was just they were on sale at this other grocery store, some different berries, and I think it's just because they're out of season or something. So they're trying to get rid of them, but then they're home moldy, so you don't want to buy them anyway. But yeah, it's probably worth it to eat better like that. But I was breaking it down. I'm like, dude, this meal is not that cheap.
Yeah. Nope.
I spend about $15 a day at the coffee shop. Get coffee, and actually, I probably spend a little more than that because I get a second cup. They charge me for it a lot of times. But anyway, about $15, and feels a little expensive, but since I hang out there, for a long time, and you get the service of them cooking it for you and all that, it's really not that bad of a deal. And they probably the price is probably a little lower than it could be because I'm sure they get like wholesale prices on their food and stuff. So as long as the service and the time saved of you not needing to cook it and buy it and all that stuff. It's not too bad of a deal.
Yeah. The time saving is what really gets you. It's like, man, to prep all this, like, healthy food, give me my whole evening. Go shop for it and then cook it.
The sandwich I get there is not that complicated. It's basically just like turkey lunch meat and a couple slices of bacon, and they put apple slices on it. Some like sourdough bread. So like I could totally make that, but you know, you still have to cook it. And I think one of the biggest deals is too, like, it's can be pretty hard to, you know, eat all the stuff that you buy at this store. Especially like, you know, if you buy like a loaf of bread, for instance, that's obviously a lot more than one meal. So like, unless you're, you know, if you're not gonna have sandwiches for the next week, you're just gonna have one. That shit's gonna go bad on you.
Right.
You know, Aaron broke both of his wrists, and you know, so he's totally out of work, and he's gonna have to move out of his place now, which super sucks.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting thing because I was talking to this guy living here, Chris, and he's saying he's been in some accidents and stuff, and if you have to, you know, move out of your apartment or something, that's considered like loss of home or whatever. And so if you're going to court over it and stuff, that's like more damages. So I don't know that he's gonna come out of this rich or anything, but hopefully he gets a decent payout from the insurance company because he's like all lawyered up and stuff. I guess that's why you get the short-term disability.
Yeah.
Very
Okay.
helpful. That cost. I didn't get it because I'm the type of person that just, you know, saves up enough money to float for a long time. So I
Yeah.
have the long-term disability. So if I was actually out of work, you know, obviously long-term, then I would actually need something. But otherwise, like 3 months would suck, but I can totally swing that. But yeah, if you can't swing it, then I guess you gotta get that.
Right. Not even that much. I mean, it's cheap, but then you also don't get that much. You get like a few $100 a month, which I guess is enough.
Turret has been destroyed.
That's actually super shit. It's just a few $100 a month.
Yeah, it was like not much when I was looking at it. It's like nice. It's like, oh yeah, you pay $10 a month, and if you get sick, you get like $500 a month. It's like, okay, I don't know. You just save up. Like, I guess we're privileged enough to have high incomes, but you can't just save up. It's fine.
Yeah. Before I got this job, being short-term unemployed would be a problem for me, especially at the time that I was basically already unemployed. But in general, though, still try to float enough money where that a couple months or something that would be a problem. But I don't know. I'm mostly just lazy. Like, I don't want to have to balance the books all the time, you know? So I just make sure I keep enough where I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the food thing, though. I'm not somebody who needs to indulge in a lot of things, so it's not as much of a pain for me as some people to just, you know, keep it lean for a few months to save up some cash.
Yeah.
So he did not
Really.
turn around and did this.
Mm.
What I did realize though is I gotta cut back on the cigars. So I've been smoking a cigar pretty much every day for like a month now. I was looking at my credit card statements, and they're like between 10 and $15 a piece. And it's cheaper than going to the bar, you know, and getting drunk. Or, you know, not more expensive anyways. Yeah, it's definitely cheaper. But, you know, one a day for 30 days, that's just $15 a pop. That's,
Right.
well, you know, several $100s. I was looking at my credit card, I'm like, yeah, I should probably, I don't really need to be doing that throughout the week. Keep it a weekend thing.
Oh, Garen's here to just fuck my day up. Garen's just gonna walk through us all. There it is. Maybe? I don't know. The silence is brutal for Darius, though. I don't really know who counts Darren. He's kind of just good against whoever. He doesn't even have any shutdown money. Only Jinx does.
What was the stuff that Darcy's looked at for you? Does she hardcore drill into the specifics? Or is she...
For parties? No, but she knows like what's actually the problem.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, she's like, oh yeah, I can see why this is a good regression or something, right? Because we should be excluding that here 2 line, and then
So
it
she's
reveals a
more
new problem with like 2 column title pages because you have like layered problems, right? She understands that. Nice.
That-
Joyce is just like good, bad, bad. It's like, oh, okay.
Darcy's at the tail end of the Pareto distribution.
Yeah. But I don't even need Darcy to tell me. Like I can just see for parties, it's super easy to just see what's like right and wrong. It's like in plain English. It's like so and so is the borrower. Okay. The problems
yeah.
are like scribbled text or handwritten text or like overlapping lines and stuff. It's just garbage. And that you just like clean up with heuristics. So I don't know, I can do all that on my own. I don't need anyone to really help. And Joyce is like, stop reviewing the diffs. I'm like, but it's like easy. I don't know. I want that Jinx. Lord, I want that Jinx. Got her.
Feels the same way in those cross references, but at the same time, for me at least, it is kind of nice to have somebody else look at it. So you just like, you know, shotgun your stuff out there, and then just kind of chill and let somebody else work it out if it's good or not. Something to be said for that.
Oh, that was cool. Died though. Double death. Oh, that was execute, okay. I killed him with the echo damage, 32%. Apparently it turns like dark, like black and red when they're execute ready. Gotta look out for that. Although with this skin, who knows, it's probably like a seashell or something. Like seashell opens up and there's a little pearl inside. That means they're ready for the execute. Little dolphin pops his head up.
Reminds me of those math problems where they give you a bunch of extraneous information that you don't need. You have to filter it out. Just worry about what really matters.
Yeah, like the word problems, I'd be like, what are the numbers they want me to just multiply here?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't do this to me. Oh, it wasn't enough to execute, and now I'm gonna die. Shield. Not enough shield. Oh, because I didn't max it first. Oh well, it was a good try.
Oh, shit. be back in a minute.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift. Seconds until minions spawn. Minions have spawned.
Every base stuff is that's so funny.
I don't, I can't believe how many people don't understand rebase. I'm like, it's not that hard. It's almost like more natural than merging, right? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's what I would first think I'd want to do, kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't count the number of times I've gotten in a tussle. It's like, really?
I've had way more problems with merging. Normal merges.
Honestly, because I get lost. I'm like, okay, so I merge this into that, and then that into this, and then where is everything? Like, I would forget which changes have been integrated into which spots. And then depending on the order that you merge in, you can get like conflicting histories, right? Like merging different orders results in different things. Whereas, I don't know if that's the case with rebasing.
Depends how you read it, possibly.
Yeah. All I know is like one pretty simple happy path with Git, and it involves rebasing. Right? Just have your little branch, rebase it occasionally. Like, who cares about the rebase conflicts? They're on your little old branch. Your branches shouldn't be staying alive for more than like a week or two anyway. Like, how many merge conflicts could you possibly get? I mean, I guess if you have a super ancient branch, but that's gonna be a problem with merges or rebases. So I don't know.
I guess you can cheat the super ancient branch by merging in your changes, like way back in the history, right? And then maybe those changes later get rewritten. It's like you only get a merge. I don't know for sure, but you only get a merge conflict when like a concurrent change conflicts, right? But what if you merge in something that gets totally rewritten more recently? You know, I don't know if that causes a merge conflict or not.
I actually don't know. I never do it. Just stay on the happy path.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's this YouTuber I was watching today, the nerdy guy, and he completely advocates against rebasing. He like doesn't allow it on any person at his company. Doesn't allow anybody to rebase. And he's like, it's the only Git command that destroys history. I'm like, well, yeah, but that's like in a good way. Like, it rebuilds the history as I want it on my local branch too. I'm not destroying it for other people because I've never pushed, right? Right? If I have pushed, it's just me and my lonesome that's, you know, caring about it. So I don't know. I don't want to see like when I'm looking at the history of like develop, I don't want to see a whole bunch of garbage, right? Like merge commits all over the place. Like, just think how sloppy it is to do a little bit of work on your branch, merge in some commits from develop, do a little more work on your branch, then merge a couple more commits in from develop. Like, then you've got this mangled history. Like, I don't get it. Who wants that?
Plus, like when I create my merge requests, I just cherry pick my commits anyways. So like, the branch I'm rebasing doesn't even get merged in.
Huh.
I mean, that's kind of the same thing as what a rebase does anyway, but like, yeah, does he not allow cherry picking?
Cherry picking, I think he says is fine, but like, I don't know. Why not just rebase?
But that is like the same thing.
He's just
right?
gonna
cherry
orange out
picking
it.
all the changes sequentially, and then merging in that result.
You have been slain.
Plus, I think when you rebase, it doesn't, like, it technically destroys history or whatever, but I think the individual commits retain their, like, the date that they were created and stuff.
Right.
Yeah. So it's not like you're losing everything.
Oh, I guess your dates are out of order then, aren't they?
Well, sort of. It would be if you cherry pick though.
Yeah, exactly. Well, if you cherry pick, yeah, then they'll be in order, but not true to when
No,
you
they
actually
won't.
wrote the code.
Because if you cherry pick an old commit, to be applying it new, but in the commit itself, I think it'll still say like the date that that particular commit was generated.
I don't know. I've never really looked at the dates. Don't really care. I just like to read little messages, and like when they line up in a nice order, it's nice. Like, okay.
Sometimes they'll be like, when was this change made or something, and then if you look at the commits, even though you've rebased, it'll still say this commit, was at this time on this day or whatever,
Oh yeah.
even though you've rebased it.
Right. I feel like that makes sense. That's how I'd want it. I want to
Yeah.
know like when I decided to make that logical change.
I'm thinking that these people probably just have a workflow where like multiple people are working on the same branch and don't have local branches.
Oh yeah. Well, then you shouldn't rebase for sure.
But the thing is that's weird though, and I don't know. Maybe that's what they don't understand is that like, well, you can't rebase the branch multiple people are working on. The cat wandering through the office looking for somebody who hasn't
Oh, I
pulled.
know. That's the saddest story. Oh yeah. When I had a rebase issues, I'd walk to the office to find someone who hadn't pulled my code so he could, push it to me again or something. I'm like, what? Like I would so look down on someone who did that to me. Like, I don't know. So dumb. It's like, dude, it's not that hard. Like, it's a little confusing when you're brand new, but like, it's not that hard.
You just gotta keep your local stuff, and then most of the time you don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah, the cherry pick commit just becomes a new commit. Yeah, but when you rebase, it doesn't just become a new commit, does it? It stays with the old details and everything, right? But
Well,
then it's out of order.
I think even when you cherry pick, it retains some details.
No, I'm pretty
It's a
sure the
new
cherry
commit.
pick becomes a brand new commit. Like,
Well, so does the rebase though. It replays all the commits, right? So they're new commits with new hashes and everything.
I think it's different. I'm pretty sure rebase keeps the date and stuff, whereas cherry pick, it treats it like it's a brand new thing.
I think, in my experience, I'm pretty sure that even the cherry pick retains the date. But I could be wrong. I don't know. Because I think the date is like, it's just part of the commit. It's not like a solid thing.
Yeah,
Not sure.
the message becomes part of the commit hash. Do you know that? Pretty interesting, isn't it?
I think so. But I think that's what I'm talking about with the date, like the date in the message though. Yeah, could be anything really.
I don't think the date matters for the commit hash, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it might matter, but only as like the message, not like a real date. Because if you look at the history, like on our branches, you'll see like these really old dates and stuff, and then there'll be newer dates merged in before it.
Yeah.
And it's like, what's going on? It's like just because you rebased your commits, so even though they're
Yep.
old, you apply new.
Oof, that hurts.
But I don't see how that's a problem.
Yeah, I don't really. I want the dates to be when the commits were made. I don't care if they're in order or out of order with respect to like what gets merged, really.
Right.
Like, I don't know. The merge dates don't really mean anything to me. Like, the date the logic came about.
It's
Matters.
just nice to retain that information, which all of this does, so that if you're working on it and you're like, they're like, well, when was this change made? You can see, like, oh yeah, we made that last week.
Yeah.
I care about, but whenever that commit gets actually pushed in, doesn't matter to me.
Oh no!
Your turret has been destroyed.
Round 3 for this freaking Malzahar. He's gonna ult him. Okay, that works. Oh. I should stop taking all the kills. Oh, that was just in time. Oh, I love Lich Bane so much. There's 2 Lich Bane procs. Perfect. Aw. My bad. I thought I could Q out the charm, because like if you're Ari, you can throw out the charm right when Malzahar, right before he ults you, and then it'll charm him out of his ult. I thought I could do it with my Q, but I don't think I was quite in range. Needed to flash to get into range. But he has no ult now, so he just gets murdered by Callista. Wait, where's the not quite. No way, what? Yeah, he can, but he wasn't close enough to. It's actually not hard to interrupt it yourself, like, it happens way more often than you'd think. Oh wow, that's 5 for Dragon. Yeah. It's a fun time, isn't it?
Your team has destroyed.
Ah.
Enemy killing spree.
I'm gonna die anyway. Lord. Yikes. Oh, now the Malzahar eat. No.
Shut down.
Okay.
Your turret has been destroyed.
When you say you want to go to like days, you know, multiple days.
Yeah. Yeah, we gotta get equipment.
Oh, like,
That's fine.
go to home.
Yeah.
There's some that take their.
Alright, dude, well, I'm gonna go to bed.
Alright. I'll catch you later, man.
Catch you later, dude.
Not taking a chance on that ultimate. Oof, that's pretty good. What? This guy's totally smurfing. What the fuck was that? first you shoot the Q, and then he ults you. But after he starts the ult, the Q is already in progress towards him to charm him, and then it charms him out of it. And like it happens all the time by accident with Ari, and I think you can do it with Eve too. Okay, now it's time to worry about Dragon. 3-1.
Destroyed a turret. Dominating.
That's not Kindred, that's Callista. Hold on. Let's see. Wow, what is that? Put me back in there, boss. Oh no, we're gonna die. Put me back in the game, coach. He's trying to put me on the bench. The silence.